The Parlamentskaya Gazeta, which is the publication of the Federal Assembly of the Russian Federation, published an article, Diamond Aimed at Terrorists, which is still valid today. In this article, it was stated, Russian scientist Grigori Grabovoi warned about the upcoming earthquake in Turkey back in May, but his warning didn't reach the country's leadership. The sad consequences of the terrible disaster are known to the whole world today. I would like to believe that mankind's long-cherished dream of harnessing the forces of nature is close to being realized. Russian scientist Grigori Grabovoi has created a unique technology for predicting and reducing the strength of earthquakes. Shahramanyan, head of the Agency for Monitoring and Forecasting Emergency Situations of the Ministry of Emergency Situations of Russia, reported this remarkable achievement of the scientist to the president of the Russian Academy of Natural Sciences, Kuznetsov. Academician of the Russian Academy of Natural Sciences, Grigori Petrovich Grabovoi, he writes, used the general reality formula he created and the theory of wave synthesis for the preventive forecast of earthquakes and catastrophes. To do this, he digitized the crystal prediction model. To put it simply, he learned to take of the crystals the information about the upcoming earthquake. Here, it's necessary to make explanations. In fact, for ages, natural predictors have been used in the role of a module. It has long been known, for example, that snakes, hedgehogs, and toads crawl out of their holes before an earthquake. But how to put a sensor on, say, a poisonous cobra? The Japanese seem to have found an easy way. They have chosen special fish for forecasts, which begin to show concern before tremors. But the trouble is, in fact, that the fish placed in an aquarium and surrounded by care lost their sensitivity. Grabovoi went the other way and chose crystals for the role of predictors. And the thing is that before an earthquake, the radiation background of the Earth and the amount of helium and radon released in places adjacent to the zone of future cataclysm change. And crystals react most of all to this breathing of the bowels. For example, a diamond begins to glow with a bluish light. Therefore, based on the spectrum and the intensity of the glow, it's possible to predict exactly up to a millisecond when the Earth will shake and how many magnitude points will be on the epicenter and adjacent areas. As a factual material proving that the specified module makes it possible to implement a preventive earthquake forecast, we read further in the response from the Ministry of Emergency Situations. Statistical data on earthquakes presented by the Central Experimental and Methodological Expedition of the Geophysical Service of the Russian Academy of Sciences were used. Tests of the digital model of the device were carried out on earthquakes of the past and future. Mathematical models of a formidable rampage in the realm of the underground Pluto made it possible to reveal in detail the forces of his infernal wrath. With the help of mathematics, data on recorded earthquakes were sorted into pieces from January 1901 to July 1918. As the earthquakes of the future, now these data have already gone down in history, in July 1999, an accurate, unmistakable confirmation of the forecast was obtained for all areas where the software processing of the electronic map of the area was carried out. Yes, from 9 o'clock 03 minutes by 7:26 p.m. July 3, 1999, tectonic riots were confirmed in the Kamchatka region with a magnitude of more than 5 points. On the same day, half an hour later, 6-point aftershocks shook Japan, and by evening they spread to Alaska. Examples of predictions that have come true can be continued and continued. But in all cases, as it is optimistically stated in the conclusion from the Ministry of Emergency Situations, complete confirmation of the predictive phase has been received. Currently, the parameters of the crystal module of the device created by Grigori Grabovoi are being transferred from digital form to the microprocessor itself. Prediction of the beginning of earthquakes with an accuracy of a millisecond, our Russian scientists closed in a completely terrestrial technology. And that means that it is now the task of the people themselves to forestall danger. But the most important thing is not even that. It turns out that now it's possible not only predict, but also reduce the power of the elements or even stop it altogether. The digitized pulses sent by the laser through the instrument's crystal into the earthquake zone act on it like Garin's fantastic hyperboloid, with the only difference that they don't destroy, but reduce the electromagnetic intensity in the zone of a future cataclysm at a distance. It turned out that the tension of the Earth's crust the day before the fateful hour changes the strength of the electric field in the entire atmosphere. According to scientific data, such average tension over the Earth's surface is in the range of 120-150 volts, and before destruction in the future epicenter, it increases 1,000 times. So in 1986, before the most powerful Carpathian earthquake in Bucharest, all the computers of the city failed in a day in Bucharest, and at night a mysterious glow spread around various objects around the area. Moreover, in the Carpathians, such phenomena occurred more than once before earthquakes. They were especially pronounced in 1940, when the elements brought enormous damage. The sky, soil, mountain peaks, power lines shone. Light tongues, sparks, and falling balls swept over the tops of trees, antennas, masts of river ships, and fiery auras from corona discharges flashed around people and animals. Models of devices created by Grigori Grabovoi to prevent earthquakes can also be useful for preventing other earthly disasters, tornadoes, tsunamis, mud flows. However, unfortunately, the tragic events known to everyone don't allow to finish this material on a bright note. It's quite reasonable to ask me, where was Grabovoi during the earthquake in Turkey? So the scientist made a prediction of this earthquake back in May. It was then that the corresponding warning went to the name of the president of Turkey, but it didn't fall into the hands of the head of the country, but, as they say, was put the brakes into the seismological laboratory of one of the Ankara state institutes. And only after the tragic accident, the paper from Russia was remembered. But it was already too late. By the way, Grabovoi still influenced the earthquake through the crystalline model. As seismographs registered, the decrease of the magnitude due to the use of the device made 0.2. Yes, the result is small, but the too small crystal of the module didn't allow to do more. Although Grigori Grabovoi had to purchase this life-giving diamond through Russian Academy of Natural Sciences with his own money, for more, Grigori Grabovoi simply didn't have enough funds. And if the crystal were more powerful, then the magnitude could be lowered, respectively, to a much higher level. But alas, there are other questions as well. Why, neither in the country nor in the world, anyone thinks of organizing some kind of global warning system about the elements, like the well-known satellite system GLONASS, which notifies of all ships in distress. By the way, according to the scientist, such a warning system could be adopted to prevent impending terrorist acts. What a shock only Russia has experienced from them lately. And again, there is no mysticism here because delayed charges also have a material carrier, explosives. This means that it's quite possible to digitize information about it and put it out of the information field of our cities and villages. The same Grabovoi proved this by predicting timely prevented explosions in the Moscow metro and at one of the nuclear power plants. The tragedies that swept the world make us talk about it with bitterness and pain. But here we are forced to turn the conversation into the plane of the moral responsibility of those who don't want to hear and see the possible scope of application of brilliant inventions. And first of all, our government deserves reproaches in the offices of which a lone scientist is still knocking. Author of the article, Alexander Kapkov, Parlamentskaya Gazeta, publication of the Federal Assembly of the Russian Federation, number 230, 360, Friday, December 3, 1999, article Diamond Aimed at Terrorists, page 4.